Hey everybody, it's time to do another one of these. Today we have a 2-for-1 deal on NPD markers. We're going to be talking about a grandiose sense of self-importance and belief that we're special, right? They're two different markers because they're very different, but they sound like the same thing. So you kind of have to talk about them both at the same time so you can talk about what the difference is. So first of all, you have to know that all of this is coming from a position of vulnerability. We know this is bullshit, right? We know we aren't special. We know we aren't important. We want to be so very much, but we aren't, right? And so we kind of delude ourselves into behaving and thinking and treating others as if we are. And that is the stuff that really makes us total assholes to other people. Now then, a grandiose sense of self-importance. That's a fairly obvious one. You can kind of work out what that is. For me, that came from, I got that fed by running a podcast network. That was where that came from. That I was the guy at the top. People called me boss. People were shocked when they met me sometimes. It was such a terrible ego boost to what was already a broken, damaged ego in the first place. And it made me feel like I was far more important than I actually am, right? This whole experience has been fairly therapeutic for me, right? I'm saying this on a YouTube channel with, at the moment of recording, about 68 subscribers. I have 20 Twitter followers. I barely exist on the internet. Right? That was not the case a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was the opposite. I'm not like, I was never massive. I was never some huge social media influencer or whatever, but I had a lot more attention on me than I had now. And it's very humbling to just start building something up from nothing again. And it's good for me. I'm enjoying it because it reminds you're actually not important. You know, you're not doing anything special in that way, right? And it helps a lot. It really helps a lot. But as I say, this is all vulnerable stuff. I knew I wasn't important all along, you know, and so it was nice to have it come crashing down. Although it was unnerving, not for very long. Because really, you know it all. It's just a case of accepting it and behaving like it, and to a certain extent, growing the fuck up and getting a grip on reality. Right? Now, here's the interesting and fun bit. Here's where it differs from a feeling of being special. I'm not talking about special like important special. Right? I'm talking special like Jesus, Batman kind of special. Right? Okay. Now, not in the sense that we think we have superpowers. That's not what I mean. I'm talking in a kind of deluded, otherworldly sort of, I am special, like in some way blessed, in some way actually superior, like am I coming across, am I getting this? Like really the way I always used to look at it, it was summed up so perfectly in an episode of 30 Rock by Jack Donaghy claiming, no, this is my story. I'm the protagonist. All of this. Right? Do you really exist when you aren't around me? That level of thinking. Surely all of this is my story. Everything pertains to me. Everything is an event in my story. You don't really have a story. You don't really exist when you're not in shot. That's kind of what it is. That ties in a lot. You can see with a lack of empathy without thinking about how other people feel and what is happening in their lives, because Really? Do you think they have one? Do you give a shit? Does it matter? Is it irrelevant? If it was relevant, it would be in the main story, right? If it was something you needed to know, it would be an A story, not a B or a C, or just not in this episode altogether. That kind of special. The other way I always put it was, sort of feeling like a cat playing with mice. And there are numerous instances of me doing that with people on social media and winding them up, taunting them. Just being a cat, batting a mouse around, and I am my little thing to play with because I'm just bigger and better than you and I can eat you if I want to. You can't though, can you? Because it's all vulnerable, because it's bollocks, it's bullshit, you're not really anything of note or specialness. You're just some other guy, and maybe that's the most terrifying part of all of it, isn't it? Maybe the fact that everything you've done has gone wrong is just because that's happened. Not because it's part of some big story that's going to come together with when you just win the lottery or something at the end and it's all a happy ending. Maybe it's just you're waiting for something to happen because you think it might, but it doesn't, because you've got to make your own things. That's the problem. I got held up for a decade thinking I was doing better than I was, thinking I was more important, thinking I was achieving more than I was because of all of this. And I feel like that has been time just stolen from me. How can I be not doing well? It's me, that kind of attitude. Of course it's me. I'm doing it. Of course this is perfect. And you don't see that it's not. You don't see what you're getting wrong and what you're missing out on and what you're screwing up. And yeah, I feel like I've had that time taken from me. And I realize now as I talk about it, some of these feelings haven't gone away. The sense of self-importance has. Sense of self-importance has. These start to drop off with an increase in personal empathy. And maybe as this goes on for me, I'll see more of it drop off. But as I sit here right now, there is some sort of, it's such a weird thing to describe, some sort of underlying belief of, yeah, but I am special though. Rationally, coherently, I know I'm not. How do you make that? Sitting on a video saying, I know I'm not special, I'm like a person like everybody else. And really at the back of my mind is, you're not though. You actually are something special. You can do something that maybe you were born to do, that no one else could do. You're going to save humanity. But I'm not. And I know that. Really. The trick is not buying your own bullshit. Practicing that. Just carrying on. You've got to do something because it's not going to happen if you don't do it. Okay? Do you see the difference there? One's slightly delusional. It's defensive. The other is totally weird. We're going to have to talk about dissociation next. I'm dying to talk about dissociation. It's my favorite one of all of them. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye.